Welcome to my Java tutorials. In this video, I explain thread and runnable by 20 examples. In this first example, we create a static class, myThread, whose extends thread. We have a constructor who give the name and set the name from the thread. In the override run method, we only print out myThread running and myThread finished. And in the main, we create an object myThread with name myThread. Start the thread and print out myThread name and thread ID. As you can see, it's working. myThread running, myThread finished, and the name and the ID from the thread. In the next example, we do almost the same, but now we implement Runnable. So we create a static class myRunnable, implements Runnable. In the run method, myThread running, myThread finished. Then the main static method, thread, myThread, new thread, and the runnable inside of the new thread. Start the thread and print out the get name and the thread ID. We run. And we see myThread running, myThread finished, and the name and ID from the thread. In the next example, we create the runnable inside the main method. Runnable, myRunnable, new runnable, and the code directly inside. Override run, myThread running, myThread finished, then create the object of myThread, myRunnable. Go inside, start the thread, and print out the name and the ID. The next example, we create a runnable with a lambda expression. Runnable, myRunnable, the lambda expression, myThread running, myThread finished. Then we create the object myThread with the runnable inside, start the thread, and print out the name and the thread ID. See here, myThread running, myThread finished, and the name and the ID. In the next example, we create again a runnable with a lambda expression, myThread running, myThread finished, but now we create the thread with the thread builder. Thread builder, myBuilder, thread of platform with the name myThread. Then we create a thread object, myBuilder, this one, start, myRunnable, this one. And print out name and thread ID. See it running, myThread finished, and name and ID from the thread. The next example, we create a thread with the executor service. Executor service, executors, new single thread executor. We submit with the lambda expression our thread, myThread running, myThread finished. We run it, and we see myThread running, myThread finish. On the end, we do executor service shutdown. Next example, we use again executor service. This time we create a static class myThread with the run method, myThread running, myThread finished. You see, we don't extend or implement runnable or thread. We create an object myThread, executor service, executors, new single thread executor, and submit myThread run with a lambda expression and shut down. We see myThread running, myThread finished. Next example, we create again static class myRunnable, implements runnable. In the run method, we give the name from the thread, the current thread is running, myThread finished. In the main method, thread, myThread, new runnable. So this one we put inside of the thread and we give it a name, myRunnable thread, and start. You see, myRunnable thread running. This one finished, and this one. The next example, we create two threads. Again, static class myRunnable implements Runnable, print out current thread get name running, then we sleep 100 milliseconds and my thread finished. In the main, create my thread 1, new thread, new Runnable, so this one goes inside here, and the name my Runnable thread 1. Start it. Then we create an object my thread 2, new thread, new Runnable, again the same code goes in here, but now with name my Runnable thread 2, and start it. As you can see, my Runnable thread 1 running, my Runnable thread 2 running, and then my thread finished, my thread finished. Example, we extend our myRunnable. We create a static class, myRunnable, implements Runnable. We have a boolean stop request. For now, it's false. We have a method request stop. You look here synchronized because we need to get thread safe. And if we request stop, this stop request is boolean true. Then a method isStop requested. We return the stop request. Then we create a method sleep milliseconds and override the run method. Print out the name is running while not isStopped request, sleep 1000 milliseconds and print out some dots. At the end, thread get name finished. In the main method, we create myRunnable. We create my thread with Runnable inside and we give the name myRunnable thread and start it. We sleep 5000 milliseconds, so 5 seconds. Then we print out a requesting stop and stop the myRunnable. And then at the end we print stop request. Go up and run it. As you can see, thread is running. And then request stop, stop requested, and the thread is finished. So we can stop a thread on this method. Next example, we explain setDaemon. We create a main class, Runnable, with a lambda expression, sleep 1000, thread is running. Then we create a thread with a Runnable inside. My thread setDaemon false is the default, so we don't need to do that. My thread start, sleep 5100 seconds, and at the end, main class is stopped. And we have a sleep method to put here. We run it, and we see what happened. See, the thread is running, then main class stopped, but the thread stays running until the end. Stop it, and now we uncomment my thread setDaemon is true. Now we run. See, my thread running, it's running, it's running, it's running, it's running, and the main class stopped and the application is stopped. Here we can, with the setDaemon true, we can stop the main class anytime we want. Next example, we create a Runnable with a lambda expression, for loop for 5 times, sleep 1000 milliseconds, thread is running. We create the thread with the Runnable inside, setDaemon to true, and start the thread. This code, we wait a little bit, and print out main class is stopped. Again, we have the sleep method for here. We run it, see what happened. The thread is not running because we have setDaemon to true. we start the application and the thread, but immediately the main class is stopped. Now we uncomment the join. Now we run the application again. As you can see, this time we start the application, the thread is running 5 times, and then the main class is stopped. So my thread join, the main class stop, until the my runnable is finished. This example, we create a thread, thread 1, we create a second thread, thread 2, thread 1 set priority to maximum priority, thread 2 set priority to minimum priority. Then we create a thread group and put a third thread inside this group with name thread 3. Thread 1 start, thread 2 start, thread 3 start, and then we do thread 1 join, 2 join, and 3 join. So we wait with the main class to finish all the threads. We run it, thread 1, thread 2, thread 3. Example, we explain deadlocks. We have an inner class resource with 2 methods. Method 1, method 2. Task method 1 begin. Other method 2. So this method go here, and method 1 end. Same method 2. Task method 2 begin. Other method. So we run method 1 inside method 2 and method 2 inside method 1, and task method 2 end. And we go to the main class, resource 1, new resource, resource 2, new resource. We create a thread with resource 1, 2 inside and resource 1 inside. Start thread 1, start thread 2. We run it and see what happened. We get task method 1 begin, task method 1 begin, but everything stopped. Next example, we use again executor, new single thread executor, a runnable task with lambda expression, task is executing, and execute the task. You see, we don't stop the executor. If we run it, you see the task is executing, but not stopping. Next example, again, executor service, executor, new fixed thread pool with 2. So we put 2 threads in the pool. The first task, lambda expression, task 1 executing. Second, task 2, lambda expression, task 2 is executing. We submit task 1, submit task 2, and shut down. If we run it, you see task 1 is executing, task 2 executing, and the main class is stopped. Example, again, executor service, executors, new single thread executor. This time we use a callable from type integer, task, sleep 2 seconds, and return integer 42. Then future integer, future, executor service, this one, submit task. So this task goes inside the executor service. We print out waiting for the result. The result is 0, and then in the try catch block, the result we wait for future get. So we wait 2 seconds. If everything is okay, we print the result, and shut down at the end. We run, we wait for the result. After 2 seconds, result is 42, and the main class is stopped. Next example, we show you again set daemon. So we create a thread, new thread with a lambda expression. We do a while is true, so this runs forever and ever. Task is running. Sleep half a second, and print is running. Set daemon true. So what happened? Once the code come here, the main class is stopped, and then we start the thread. We run it. You see the task is running only one time, but because set daemon is true, the application is stopped immediately. If we comment this out and run it again, you see the task is running forever and ever and ever. Example, we create a thread, new thread, and start. Start it and start a worker. The worker implements Runnable. We have object, the monitor, the constructor, and the run method. You see, synchronized. Wait to acquire the monitor, about to wake up, waiting thread, and now that's the waiting thread has woken up. This worker thread can continue running as usual. So we run. We see here about to start the worker. We start here. The next step is this thread is going to pause here. The next step, waiting to acquire the monitor, is here. About to wake up the thread here. Now that the waiting thread is woken up here. And the last line is to finish everything up. In the last example, we create a class gunfight with a synchronized fire. Print out bullets fired. We start with 40. Here we wait and continue fire after reloading. And we have a second method, synchronized again, reload. Reloading the magazine with 40 bullets. And we go to the main class, start the object, new gunfight, new thread, override the run method, gunfight fire. So we fire 40 bullets, start it, and a new thread, gunfight reload, and start it. We run it, move it a little up. First we fire 40 bullets and 0 remaining. We wait, we reload, we continue the fire after reloading. Firing process is complete. See here at the end. This was it for this video. As always, the code you can find on my GitHub account. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and give a thumbs up. Thank you very much, and see you later.